All right. I am back in black and white. Um, gonna post this one on TikTok. Well, I don't know, it might be too long for TikTok. We'll see, but I'm definitely posting this on my Henry Covert channel. Hello, I'm Henry Covert. It's been a challenging month so far for me. It's been kind of rough actually since August, as far as my personal health, physical and mental health, and finances. So I've had some good friends who helped me get through, keep my lights on and my phone on, and I deeply appreciate that. Some of the people on my podcast have contributed and helped me out, and they want the show to succeed and go forward, and so they're very much a part of that. So I want to talk about the show, Deep Images. So I believe what I'm deciding, I'm going to confer further with my producers. What I've decided is that I need to take a brief hiatus, um, and regroup, but regroup exactly where we left off. In other words, we had the topic selected for Sunday. We were going to record it. That would have yielded about 4 episodes. And, when there's not enough content, I feverishly, churn them out like I did during Halloween, like once a day, once every other day. And it was fun. It was an incredible outlet to do that, really. It kind of helped keep me together. But it kind of burned me out because, unfortunately, we had a negative encounter within the group and encounter. It was somebody we knew, a negative, I don't know, exchange between producers and this person, and so I decided the best thing to do would be just advertise, because I want the channel to survive, and I want the people that are incredible, that are part of it, that are coalescing once again into an incredible lineup. I want them to continue to have faith in the project and in me. And sometimes, when you have something and it's really precious, you have to defend it. And sometimes when you're being someone is attempting to manipulate you, using pity or victimhood, then I call them out. I don't give mentally ill people an automatic pass. I am a mentally ill person. This lately, I'm really out there, but I'm on drugs, legal drugs. It's fun making this. So, about the channel itself, um, it has really picked up since Deep Images came into being. So, Deep Images' first official announcement with the initial lineup was a video I posted as part of the Blue Review series on my channel on YouTube, and that video came out on May 17th. So it took a while, but July 19th, the very first episode aired. Like we're on television, right? And we were still sorting a lot of stuff that had happened, a lot of setbacks that we'd had in June. We were still sorting those going forward. So it's like we got the episode out there, we got everything ready for the second episode, and it fell apart. So I mean, we'd already filmed part of it. So we finally regrouped and did episode 2, and it was the longest episode we've ever had, like an hour and 55 minutes. We're not going to go that anymore. We've cut down to under an hour per segment, maybe an occasional exception, but what happened was it and the first episode both, I don't want to say it blew up, but they steadily gained a lot of views and a lot of likes, and of course that's nice to know in that short amount of time. So May, June, July, August, September, October. So October 17th is the anniversary, the 6-month anniversary of the project announcement. May 19th is the 4-month anniversary of the premiere. So I need to slow down on what I'm doing with it, just for practical purposes. I still will probably do some low tech shit like this. I'm not even using my amazing selfie pod. Our next few episodes, I probably will be shooting in color on my selfie pod, and I shot a few like that recently, and no one complained about the quality. This phone's pretty awesome. So I know I sound rough. I've had the last 5 days have really just about knocked me the fuck out of this planet, and today I slowed down. I thought about things. I talked to my girlfriend, and that's a it's complicated situation on Facebook now. I really really love her, but there's like a lot of logistics going on. So, but we're speaking very eloquently and sincerely, and well, I don't know about eloquently in my case, sincerely together about what's going to happen, and that's a refreshing thing in and of itself to be able to do with somebody. Drama in my love life is way way out there behind me. So my health is continuing to deteriorate, and doctors are not. I have a diagnosis, but doctors are not going further. They need to go. Even in an emergency room. My good friend Tim McLean took me to the emergency room of the main hospital here in Charlotte on Friday. Last time I'd been there, like early 2014. Gosh, that's a story unto itself why I went. I didn't get the best results. So all weekend I was in so much pain that I really can't even describe it. I just I do not want to be around humans when I'm making those kind of sounds that are involuntary. My cat understands really well. And at one point he came up on my pillow. He does this every once in a while. And he came up on my pillow and he slept next to my head. So he makes a nice fuzzy pillow. And he purrs. And allegedly if cats connect with you physically and they're purring and you're on their wavelength, that kind of helps mend your inner, your bones and your inner being. And I really think that was what he subconsciously was trying to do. He was trying to save me and soothe me. Because if I go, he can't eat. So, excuse me, I'm not going to edit that out. This is me, warts and all. So, I have several juggernauts that I've got to conquer in my personal life. Of course, I need to, like I said, I need to deal with my health situation, and I need to deal, over time, and as carefully as possible with my love life, and I need to take care of my job situation, and I'm on medical leave right now, and I'm extending that till into next year. So it's paid medical leave, but it's only like 75% of your normal pay. But I've had a lot of hang-ups with this. You have to stay on the phone like all day, every day, like 4 days out of the work week. You have to stay on the phone all day and arrange shit. And I need a secretary, but I can't even pay my HOA dues, much less pay anyone for any services. So it's a quandary. My home situation overall it has a two-pronged issue. One is the HOA. I don't want to get into that right now either, but it is a looming and very real threat. The other thing is, my house is degraded. It's like going to, what's the right way to put it? It's like you let something go to punish yourself on a certain level, self-sabotage, and you descend into it, and the procrastination and laziness are not what's holding you back. It's depression. So once I started getting through that, I started to gather some things together. to make my house habitable again. This was like over a year ago, and I got my job and I loved it. But two things happened. Uh, my money situation was fairly dependable for a while, but my health started to decrease. My back and my hip started to bother me a bit from the way I was leaning all day and things I was lifting, and I was really working harder physically than I had in my, oh my God, my 30s, which is only a year or two ago. Just kidding. So I did, it made me kind of, so I had, the job was a double-edged sword. I had a lot of love for it, but I didn't take any of it home with me and, ponder over the employees' personal lives. Some of them tried to get me to do that, but um, and that was that. But as my health got worse and I was trying to get my house together, I found that if I continued, my back might go out or something horrible might happen along those lines structurally to my body. And I was right. That started to happen. So I had to make a choice. Do I save my physical energy for my job? Because I didn't have any paid medical benefits or insurance. Healthcare in America, Medicare for all. I mean, it's beyond absurd. Beyond absurd. It's sick. It is really sick. It's like being punished for needing help. Anyway, yes. So I did start pursuing some healthcare options. An ER in my neighborhood, at an adjunct to the main hospital. They failed me every time. They gave me one prescription that's turned out to work. Through this, I was recouping from carpal tunnel, which I've had on and off, mostly off for 25 years, a little more than that. I got shots, cortisone and steroids in my wrists and my elbow, and I started being more ergonomic in the way I do things like this, for instance. I don't have to use my hands. That's one of the motivators that I started making these videos for, to be honest. I didn't have to write or type as much, but I wanted to still communicate my ideas. It's just that I always hated myself on film, but I thought, well, I think I do come off pretty good on film when I have my brain together. Right now, my voice is, right now it's like Robert Kennedy Jr. And, a couple of months ago, that might have been, refreshing, but now I'm kind of like, I don't want to hear anything this guy has to say. Another just good thing I'm not emotionally attached to politicians anymore, or I would be really sad. But now I just think it's pathetic. Whoever wins World War III. So what are we gonna do? That's the way that goes. So on a cheerier note, I was gonna say that it got to where I couldn't really clean my house and work hard physically at my job. So I had to surrender the cleaning project and work on keeping my house, getting the HOA paid for, my property tax. And I did get federal state assistance to do all that this year. So then I had an accident at work, and it kind of destroyed everything. It's kind of ruined my life since April 29th. It's been a nightmare. It's really been a nightmare, but I'm not really depressed right now or sad about anything. I feel bad. I want my show to succeed. I want Flickr Street to make its way into the world somehow. I mean, more than it is. I don't want to lose the opportunity to be with this wonderful person that I've been with, and so I guess we're going on kind of a hiatus of sorts, but we're still talking occasionally. I think the timing of this has been unfortunate, and my favorite movie is 2046 by Wong Kar-wai. And there's one of those incredible shots where he's at the roof of the hotel where he always used to rendezvous with Fei Wong's character. This is Chow Mo-wan. He was played by Tony Leung, the master. And he's with Fei Young's character. And they kind of make out a little bit. And that made its way into a lot of posters. So there's one there where he's on that roof by himself and he's smoking. He smokes a lot. In this movie, remember, it was set in the 60s. And he narrates this film, and he has such a great voice. I don't know what he's saying without subtitles, but it doesn't really matter. But then you read it, and you're like, oh my God, it's like poetry. And he said, love is all a matter of timing. If I had been born in a different place or a different time, my story might have turned out very differently. And that's how I feel about this person I met, and that's how I feel about a lot of things right now. So I've got to get more proactive, and my therapist is going to help me, because I just, a lot of terrible things could happen if I don't deal with this as soon as possible. But I can't do all this heavy lifting. I'm doing it mentally and communication, but I can't do the literal physical lifting anymore indefinitely. I'm not going to lament and pity. I hate being disabled. I've never been disabled. I've never believed I would be disabled. I am partially disabled right now. Some days are better than others. Today I would just say I'm, partially disabled. Saturday and Sunday, I could barely do any functions. It's terrible. My hands are okay, but my legs are and hip are terrible, and my leg and hip. So if I could walk unassisted, that'd be fine. But I don't know if I ever will walk unassisted again, because the medical treatment I'm getting has been not what I was hoping for. But at least I haven't had to pay for any of it. So that's my story. I was going to say Flickr Street, but Deep Images is going forward. I don't want to say we're even taking a hiatus. We have a group chat, and we have everything locked in to record an episode on Sunday. And some things went down, like I said, with a member of the show, and it had been a long time coming. A very loyal friend, but, well, then they feel they have license to take you for granted and lie to you and, play the victim card until there's no deck left. And that's a sad thing, because I'm mentally ill. I understand. Like I said, I'm getting ready to try to patch my shit together, patch it up. This guy, he's in worse shape than me, and he's not making the effort to do that. So that's where it's at. I don't think being mentally ill gives you an automatic pass on how you treat other people. And I don't think putting out all your personal info to the world is a smart thing to do whatsoever in this age. It's really kind of terrible. I'm gonna make all the videos of Deep Images public on Facebook one at a time. I've done the first one. I got us one more view. But I really shouldn't be doing this without water. I might try some tea. I can reach it. Damn, I'm handsome. No, I'm kidding. So, I like this person. Now, when things went down, so to speak, how it went down, like Jackie Brown, none of us made any public statements or things about it. We're just moving forward as a team. But this person made some defaming comments, only a couple, because he posted about everything that happens to him in his life, especially, how persecuted he is, and it's never his fault. Dude, sometimes it is your fault. And if you refuse to own your shit, so to speak, I will call you out. And then if you attempt to equivocate and continue to create excuses and pointing your finger at other people for your behavior, I'll do more than call you out. I will eliminate you from my life. So this was a personal and professional decision. It was approved by all the producers, and what can I say? I didn't do it blindly, but I was upset because I was in so much pain. And I felt like this person has no perspective on life yet. And at their age, that's scary to me. So I wish them luck. Most of the things he said in his version of events are patently untrue or highly distorted. If need be, I will make a video and read them and refute them. But for now, I don't think that drama needs to continue unless it's continued by his end or something. But I think all he's going to do by having a public vendetta, anyone can see his Facebook, a public vendetta against us, as obscure as we are, it's not going to make him look good. He already makes himself look bad every day doing this. So people are going to be like, who's with Deep Images? I don't give a fuck. I do want to clarify one or two behind the scenes claims he made, just in case somebody read his posts. He claimed that I had fired a lot of people from the show. That's not true. He claimed that but I did it all before we shot anything, before episode 1, so the audiences wouldn't know. First of all, that's also untrue. The audiences don't need to know how we put the show together. They do not need to know our internecine conflicts. Now when we're making $1 billion off this, and I don't think we will, but some media approaches us, it'll happen. But then we're not at that level yet. This is petty street level bullshit. And there were 3 primary people who were in the original lineup. 4 that were removed from the group chat and from the project before we shot the first episode. One was our first co-producer, Sean, and I'm not going to get into the details, but Sean was duplicitous to me. And again, I called him out, and I thought, well, surely, as long as we've been friends. And when I called him out, he lost his mind. He was like, I quit this thing, and you're this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 And all this hate and resentment. So, we blocked each other. We're moving on. No hard feelings. But, he really didn't want to do this thing in the beginning. I thought he did. And that's where don't lie to me because you want to please me. Just tell me the fucking truth. You don't want to do it. You cannot do it. In his case, he cannot do it due to some of his conditions. And I tried to do it. The second person that was problematic was Marco, and Marco started making personal attacks on me in the group chat about the show, but it became very vindictive and harsh. His on-camera appearances were pretty good, but he was also took direction poorly. Really always wanted to rebel against the world. And it's like, dude, the people on this podcast, we're all in some way or another, and through our work, rebelling against the world. Sometimes just who we are is rebelling against the world. Why rebel against us? Why bite the hand that is sharing the fucking food with you? And that's what this guy that, just left, he was ejected. That's what he's been doing. So Marco, became a mentally a threatening person. I don't want to say, well, I was afraid barely to keep any contact. I believe that and I have had evidence and testimony from other people. He had begun a vendetta against me because I disagreed with the definition of blaxploitation. I mean, this is fandom gone more toxic than you can imagine. This is fandom so toxic, it could birth another Toxic Avenger movie. Oh wait, there is one, a new one. So I removed him. And that's it. And then right after we shot our first episode, Bill, I thought my dear friend and co-director, co-producer, he left without much explanation. So that was after we shot, contrary to what this guy is saying. And before we shot, I didn't remove people from the chat. That's not firing them. They're saying, I quit, I don't want to do this. And they don't know the tech to remove their names from the thing. It's that simple. So I hit remove, and every time I hit remove, this guy who was just ejected, I guess, stored up this resentment about things. And, one other person right before we started shooting said, I can't really do this anymore. So, for her reasons, not to do with how we were getting along. So, 3 people voluntarily left. Sean quit, and Francis quit, and Marco was fired. And then right after we aired number 1, Bill left. So about 6 weeks into the project, a few episodes, Shelley, one of the original people too, she left for a variety of reasons. And I think she did have some issues with how we were doing things, but at the same time, preferred not to be on camera, I guess. She had a lot of her own. She was moving because her neighborhood had been vandalized. Sorry if that's TMI, Shelley. We're still friends, and I love her to death. If she ever wants to come back, she can let me know. Francis has come back, and that's been wonderful. But yeah, Sean, Marco, and the latest guy, I don't want them to come back. But so basically, now I have a situation where I have a co-producer again who's doing what Sean and Bill, Sean was claiming to do and didn't do, and what Bill was doing, and to an extent what Shelley was doing. So since she left, there's been some behind the scenes, arrangement of ideas and outlines and just conceptual stuff for the show that I like to collaborate with someone on. So I want to announce that Kaylin Ireland, who joined us with the appointment with the Wicker Man episode, which has done wonderfully, she'll be my co-producer and co-host now, and occasional panel moderator. And I still got Keith Howell, panel moderator and co-host. And my wonderful executive producers, Tim Tolbert and Dwayne Cochran, 2 beautiful men. And I have the wonderful panelists right now, Bill Mulligan, Justin Cotton, Francis Cho, and that might be it. So yeah, and we got a new person, but he hasn't really had a meeting with us yet on camera or anything. But we're definitely in the talking stages. He's on board. I'm not going to premiere him until we get everything kind of stable. So for a week or 2, I'm probably going to just try to get my life together. And then I'm going to take all the outlines that Kaylin made for the next episode, which was, I don't remember who made the topic. I think she did. We're each doing lists of topics. So, yeah, it's one of those things. Oh, and let me just comment real quick about something funny. At one point early in the show, most of the people who are with us more regularly in our meetings to prepare for episode 1 and 2, not either Bill, but most of the other people, not all the other people, were not very helpful about selecting topics. They were very, indecisive and very, like, oh, I don't know anything about this topic, or I can't, That's when Tim Tolbert, my executive producer, jumped in, and we took Justin and Scott with us and Keith, and did all these sessions talking about The Beyond by Lucio Fulci, and Secret Invasion by MCU. Sorry, I did like it. And what movies we'd been watching. So that made a lot of episodes. We could go forward and regroup. And from then on, things were a lot smoother. So my point being is, how we got out of this was I was like airing my frustration at not us not being able to arrive at a topic. And Bill Mulligan said, he said, look, this isn't a democracy, Henry. It's your show. If I miss the show goes on. If you miss the show, there's no show. And that made me feel really happy and appreciated, because some of these other people made me feel really like crap. Um, and, you know, I recently reminded him of that, and I told him, I said, I'm going to do the same thing here at Vice, except this time, I've got a co-producer who can brainstorm topics, and then I can take license to pick the one that we're going to do next, or it's a co-decision with her and me, and with Tim sometimes. So that's it. So this person wrote in his screed against me on Facebook that this was never a democracy, and he's already fired all these people. I guess no one's commenting because everyone thinks their head is a shopping block. Like, dude, can you be more of a drama queen or king or whatever the fuck? Drama princess. Shopping block. I'm not firing anyone. He's putting more energy into, talking shit about us than he did into helping promote the channel. And he was, a regular guy. So I'm not going to mention him this time. You guys can figure it out, I'm sure, from context. But it's out there, and I had to refute this public. Since it was public, I felt I had to refute at least some of this. I mean, there's other ridiculous claims in there, but those are the ones that egregiously stand out to me. And this is the update on my health and my sanity. And I love life to an extent, and my house, and moving forward, the way forward. Move on up. I better not try to sing Curtis right now. That's going to be too fucking embarrassing. To your situation. Sabby Sabs does that on her show a lot. She gets a song in her head just right in the middle of talking about, the corruption in the government. She just starts doing this whole thing. Check her out. Sabby Sabs. Incredible independent media commentary. It's brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll probably make another one of these shortly. I don't know when. And I'll see you guys soon. Deep Image is going nowhere. We just won't have any more episodes edited and up for at least a week, if not 2 weeks. So we take a little vacation, and you guys take a little vacation from us. So thank you. Take care. I love everybody.